Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today we'll be taking a look at LEGO Brickheadz Fantastic Beasts, set number 41631, Newt Scamander and Gellert Grindelwald. This set comes with 247 pieces, 2 Brickheadz figures, specifically number 76 Newt Scamander and number 77 Gellert Grindelwald, and it retails for about $20 in the United States, where it is exclusive to Target stores. Or was, since it's not in production anymore, since all of Brickheadz are cancelled. But I mean, hey, you can probably still find it. It's not exactly as though Brickheadz are hot sellers. Why do you think LEGO ended the line prematurely? But anyway, that's really all the preamble I have, so I guess let's begin with taking a look at these figures themselves, starting with the main protagonist of the Fantastic Beasts subseries, Newton Artemis Fido Scamander himself. So here we have what is so far the only LEGO interpretation of Newt Scamander's costume and appearance in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. And judging by the fact that we are not getting any Fantastic Beasts sets in the Wizarding World lineup this year, it very well might stay that way for quite a while, especially with The Crimes of Grindelwald's quite poor reception, we'll say. At least critically, if not financially. Anyway, so taking a look at this figure, we'll start with the head, since that is, in my opinion, the most important part of a Brickheadz figure, as that's where they have to get the likeness to the actor right. Because even if you get the costume right, the actor is where it matters, and I am very happy to say that this Brickheadz figure does a very fine job with that. Just looking at the hair and the hairline, it looks like Newt Scamander to me. More like the character than... Not exactly like the actor Eddie Redmayne, but it definitely makes me think of the character of Newt, which is good in my opinion. Very good. He uses the standard Brickheadz eye prints, and you just have lots of great building with these corner tiles to create this sort of swept across his face look, and his hair is pretty tall, pretty poofy. It goes out a lot to the front, and here from the side you can actually see that in front of the main side of the head they actually attach some pieces to a modified 2x2 plate to have those extra pieces going out just to create more detail and just a lot of poofiness to his hair. Around the back it comes out pretty far, as is standard with Brickheadz figures, but here it actually looks pretty natural because his hair, you have some studs in the back which sort of work for like knots, and yeah, I just really like this look. Up top it's just super tousled, super messy, like all sorts of curves going throughout. Like, this is just really nice for the hair. I don't really know how to describe it other than the fact that it's super good and looks a lot like the actor. The only exclusive print for this guy is this 1x2x2 brick that just shows off his waistcoat, undershirt, and bow tie. And I don't know if he had the bow tie in the second movie. I think that might be something they mainly included as a reference to the first. I don't know, but yeah, and obviously if you wanted to make a figure of Newt from the first movie, all you'd really have to do would be to swap the sand blue bricks on this guy for dark blue and swap the light gray for dark brown. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, the coat is sand blue, which is accurate to the Crimes of Grindelwald, and I think it works pretty well. With the sleeves, I think that maybe they should have done the sleeves like they did on some of the Harry Potter Brickheadz, where they used these bracket pieces to make it so that you couldn't see the hands. I mean, like, these sleeves weren't super long, so I kind of get why they didn't do that, but he is still supposed to be wearing a long, thick coat. I don't know. But anyway, he does have a dark brown wand, which is not accurate, really. This wand should be more of a burnt orange, or since they don't have this piece in that color, at least just a regular brown would have worked better. But, I mean, this isn't too bad. It is just inaccurate, though. And then also his pants, and you can see that his pants are there, even though the coat does extend quite a bit past them. But yeah, you do have the light gray here in the front, as well as the actual legs as well, so that's good. Oh, it looks pretty consistent even with the coat going through. That's good. Around the back, You just have the coat, no real detail there. And then on the other side, he is carrying his briefcase, which, unlike the collectible minifigure series, this is just the standard LEGO briefcase piece we've had since forever, but they used it for a very simple reason. With the proportions of Brickheadz, you can already see that this case is almost reaching the ground, and there is no way that the specialized Newt Scamander briefcase piece would have been able to have been held by this guy. And speaking of that, let's compare this to an official LEGO minifigure of Newt Scamander, which is a slight adaptation of the one from the collectible minifigure series in this case, where I just gave him a hairpiece that is actually accurate to the actor in some form. And yeah, the figure is of course based on the first movie, but again, we haven't gotten a Newt figure for the second movie yet, and we might not for quite a while, so this is the best I have to go on him. But yeah, you can definitely see here how they did a good job at capturing the likeness to the actor. Again, to do this on the minifigure, you have to have the Shaggy hairpiece from the Scooby-Doo sets. But I mean, you know, just looking at it, I think it works pretty well. And I think the Brickheadz figure does a good job to capture that. I mean, like, again, just looking at the Brickheadz figure, you can see how much it looks like Shaggy, which I just think is kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, here you can see that the wand color isn't accurate on this guy. And you can also see sort of the suitcase size difference. But other than that, and how, funnily enough, the minifigure has kind of an oversized suitcase, while the Brickheadz figures, which usually have larger accessories and sort of brick-built oversized ones, has the much smaller suitcase. But I mean, other than that, there isn't too much I can compare these guys on since they are different outfits. This is just something I've been doing with all of my Brickheadz reviews, and I don't really feel like stopping now. So yeah, that's basically the comparison between the two, and that's basically the Newt Brickheadz figure. A really good figure that isn't exactly perfect, but it comes pretty close. But now let's move on to the other figure in this set, the one that I was far less excited about when I got the set, but one that I'm sure a lot of people were a lot more excited about, judging by all the cool pieces it comes with. I'm gonna stop amping him up, because he's probably able to do that for himself. That's right, it is Gellert Grindelwald. Or Grindelwald. Both pronunciations work. I've already used both in this video, and I'm going to continue to use both. However, I am going to give deference to Grindelwald because it fits better in my opinion, plus he's supposed to be German. I think. Pretty sure. Anyway, but which makes him being played by Johnny Depp putting on a British accent a bit confusing. Then again, a lot of things about the cinematic version of Grindelwald are a bit confusing. Like his bleached white hair, and his wonky eye, and his goofy mustache. But I mean, hey, I can't complain about all that stuff because while it is completely ridiculous in the movie, at least it makes for a pretty nice looking Brickheadz figure. Starting with the face, yeah, we get a couple new prints. One is just the standard Brickheadz eye design, but printed on a dark gray plate, and a dark gray 1x1 tile instead of a black one, to give the illusion of the wonky sort of, I don't know how to describe it, the cloudy eye. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. And that's also how they represented it on the minifigure. I don't exactly know if dark gray was the most accurate way to do it. I mean, like, it doesn't really give across the illusion of it being cloudy, it just looks like he has a gray eye. I probably would have done it like, sort of done what they did with, like, just do a white eye, and just have, like, a faint design, like, maybe do a light gray eye. Like, I didn't really think of that before, but I think light gray would have worked a lot better than dark gray. I don't know, that would have looked cloudy. Or maybe do, like, a white eyepiece with a light gray, like, the pixel designs. That could have also worked. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. I'm just saying that dark gray doesn't work super accurately. But it does sort of, like, you look at this and you understand what it's supposed to represent, so I guess it works. You can also see his mustache, which is a print. And it's not entirely accurate to what he had in the movie, but I actually like it since it's a nice sort of connection between this and the other Johnny Depp Brickheadz figure, that being of Captain Jack Sparrow, as this is the same mustache print they did for Jack Sparrow. So I don't really mind this not being 100% accurate, since that's just a cool little reference or connection or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, the hairline itself on this guy it's pretty accurate. I think there should definitely be a bit of a widow's peak to it, but I can understand how that wouldn't have been possible to do at the correct size on a Brickhead. It either would have to be missing or it would have been super oversized, and I think omitting it was the right option. Yeah, you have these corner tiles creating some nice curvature. I mean, again, his hair looks pretty stupid, but at least the figure's accurate to it. Here on the sides, you have some shaping here, and then most of the other hair is flat because it's pretty closely cut to the head. Up top, you have more sort of curves and slants to create this sort of spiky look that is, again, it's accurate, I just don't like it. And then at the back, to create the sort of shaved look that's sort of beefing up, we have a tile, and then we have a plate with some studs for the sort of spiky hair. And I mean, again, he looks pretty dumb. Bonus points for the fact that because there's no hair in front of the ears like there is normally, like compared to Newt, for example. On Newt, the ears, which are on every Brickheadz figure for some reason, the ears are a bit big, but at least there's a bunch of hair in front of them, so they're not too obvious. On this guy, there's no hair covering those ears, so he has, like, Dumbo ears. So, yeah, that's a thing. Definitely, like, I'm not a huge fan of the Brickheadz ears, but I kind of get why they're there, since, like, this... Actually, now that I look at it, in this particular case, not having the ears doesn't look too bad, probably because they look so awkward being there. I mean, I don't know. I just think this guy looks a bit derpy with those huge ears. Anyway, on the body, we have these wedge plates used to give him an absolutely colossal collar around his neck. That combines with the printing on this 1x2x2 brick, which is the same piece that they printed for Newt, except here they printed one in dark green. Now you can see his neck with a gold chain, as well as the dark green waistcoat. Interesting that they went with dark green here when the minifigure had it in olive green, but I prefer this. You can also see the dark gray pants, which, again, much like Newt, are not just a single build like there are on most Brickheadz, because the coat gets in the way, and that's part of the build, but despite that, they managed to make the pants look pretty seamless, which is good. The wand is brown, which is not accurate, as it should be the same dark tan Dumbledore's wand was in his Brickheadz figure, because this should be the Elder Wand, if I'm correct. I believe he was using the Elder Wand in the Crimes of Grindelwald, not positive, but I think that's the case. And anyway, yeah, I mean, the build for the body is the same as Newt's, just with the different colors. And, just for comparison's sake, again, let's bring in the minifigure. In this case, I'm using the Crimes of Grindelwald figure for the most part, but I did take the liberty of adding on the head print from the collectible minifigure series Percival Graves figure, since I think that that has the mustache and looks more like Johnny Depp. Overall, I think that the Brickheadz figure, in terms of expression, it's not perfect, but it's close. Again, it's not, as I just said, it's not perfect for Johnny Depp, but I think it kind of works well for Grindelwald, since he kind of sucks as a character in the movie for some reason. I don't really know why. In fact, his expression kind of reminds me of the complete blank face that one of the faces we get for Grindelwald in the Grindelwald Escapes set from the $20 set from the first wave of Wizarding World sets. But yeah, again, the mustache isn't accurate, but I don't mind. And the body, while the minifigure is really more accurate, the Brickheadz figure looks so much better. The dark green looks so much cooler than the olive green, which looks washed out and kind of clashes with how similar it looks with the dark gray of the legs. Also, the printing on the legs is, like, awful, so I much prefer how the Brickhead has done it. And I mean, like, even if the print wasn't completely cut off in 10,000 places and kind of washed out, it still would have stopped around the sides completely. I mean, like, and then, of course, the hair is completely just not accurate on the minifigure. Like, it's sort of the same thing as Newt, except here there isn't some easy fix I can come up with. I think the only way the minifigure is actually better than this, outside of the face print, which again is from the minifigure series and not the one that comes in the Grindelwald's Escape set, that set didn't even give him a mustache, is that the wand is actually accurate on the minifigure. But yeah, and then around the back, I guess there could be a bit of detailing. Same with Newt, I just didn't mention it because, like, it's just the same sort of, like, suit jacket coat detailing that we've seen on 50,000 minifigures since 2012 or so. I mean, yeah, it's a thing. Overall, with both these Brickheads, they're pretty accurate, much more accurate than the official LEGO minifigures, although you can definitely make some improvements yourself. But, yeah. But before we wrap up this video, let's take a quick look at the box, the instruction manual, and the extra pieces. This is a box. On the left, you have all of your information about the set and the name and the pieces. Top left, LEGO Brickheads. Bottom left, Fantastic Beasts. Interesting that we just have the logo for the sub-series and not for, we don't get the logo for the specific movie, which is The Crimes of Grindelwald. We also have the Wizarding World logo in the bottom right, which is interesting since that wasn't on the Harry Potter Brickheads figures. At least, not to my knowledge. I know it wasn't on the Ron and Dumbledore figures because I reviewed that set right before I reviewed this one. And I don't think it was on the other two either, so it's interesting how we have the Wizarding World print for this set but not for those. Maybe it's because J.K. Rowling wants us all to remember that Fantastic Beasts is a part of the Harry Potter series, and they were worried that people would just forget. Because, you know, it's Gellert Grindelwald is a very forgettable character. You know, that was originally intended to be sarcasm, because he's, like, kind of important in the Harry Potter lore. But then I realized that in the Fantastic Beasts movies, he is a pretty forgettable character. Most of them are. But, like, he wasn't, like, most of them were in Crimes of Grindelwald. He managed to be forgettable in the first movie as well. Good job, Johnny Depp. Normally you're a good actor. Anyway, so yeah, that's interesting. Doesn't really make me think of Harry Potter, though, since, you know, the Wizarding World thing wasn't introduced until Fantastic Beasts. In fact, I can't really think of the logo being used before these LEGO Harry Potter sets. But anyway, so you have Newt Scamander number 76 and Gellert Grindelwald number 77. This side you have a screen cap of just Newt, since I guess LEGO doesn't have the right to use Johnny Depp's face. Good for them. Also, this is clearly Newt from the first movie because the coat is dark blue, so that's a thing. Also, Fantastic Beasts logo again. On the top, actual size is Newt's brick. LEGO Life, legal stuff, the two Brickheads, and hey, you can put them on stands. That's cool. Okay, that's the box. Now, manuals. You get one for each figure. First, we have the manual for Newt. It begins with this thing telling you how numbered bags work. Interestingly, something we didn't see on other Brickheads, at least not to my knowledge, is here you have his name in a different language. Norbert Dragonew? I didn't even notice this until literally right now. Like, I've built the set a few times, I did not notice this name. It's interesting because Norbert is the name of the dragon in Philosopher's Stone, and I never knew this, but I guess that's the translation, that Norbert is, I'm going to go with French for Newt. Like, Dragonew, that looks French. I'm going with French. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, this set has 31 pages of building, and then just the win ad at the back. Second manual is for Gellert Grindelwald. And there is no such text on his manual. Huh, I wonder why Newt got the special treatment. So I guess it was just on him. That is odd. But anyway, so Grindelwald gets 31 pages of building again, so I guess they have the same amount of steps, plus a page showing them both, a LEGO Life ad that just has Newt for some reason, as well as our parts, and then an ad for all of the Harry Potter Brickheads. I guess they can show the two Target exclusives, Ron and Dumbledore, because this set is also a Target exclusive. Okay, last thing that we have to show for this video before we can wrap it up is extra pieces, of which we get a couple. Most interesting one is definitely the dark gray Brickhead's eye, as that is exclusive to Grindelwald in the set, so it's cool to get a second one, a spare. Since if you took the eye from Grindelwald and just gave him a normal eye, or just like did something custom, then you could do a figure with entirely gray eyes, which is cool. You also do get a spare, just normal Brickheadz eye, so again, cool. So I guess with the eyes included in the set, you could already do another wonky-eyed boy. And then for cool parts, you get this corner tile in the nougat color for Newt, as well as white for Grindelwald. You get a cheese slope in nougat for Newt and white for Grindelwald. You get a 1x1 plate in nougat for Newt and white for Grindelwald. And then you also just get a 1x1 tile, which is for Newt. So I guess he wins the extra pieces battle. Oh, no, actually, because Grindelwald gets the spare eye, so I guess they're tied. Don't know why it was a battle. Don't know what I'm doing here. I'm really tired, okay? I know that I always say I'm tired when I record, but that's because I always am tired when I record. Also, all the time, but mainly when I record because I kind of have to do it at night, so there's no distraction, no auditory disturbances. Which is why I rarely record during daytime, and when I do, there's always auditory disturbances. Anyway, so overall, as I add the figures back in, because I do it with all my Brickheadz reviews at the end here for the final verdict, and it looks cool, would I recommend the LEGO Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them Newt Scamander and Gellert Grindelwald Brickheadz set? Well, there are a couple things to consider here. For one, this is the only Fantastic Beasts Brickheadz set. Number two, this is one of the last Brickheadz sets, so it will be one of your last chances to pick up a Brickheadz product if you haven't done so yet. At least a licensed one, since the LEGO Movie 2 sets were limited to heck, and then we just have some seasonal ones this year. So that's a thing. But yeah, also, this is technically, if you want to think of it that way, the last Harry Potter Wizarding World Brickheadz set, as we have 3 others for Harry Potter and then this one. And also, this is just in general one of the few LEGO Fantastic Beasts products. But just, okay, so, but just going straight on, would I recommend this set if you're a fan of Fantastic Beasts? Yeah, I think these guys would make for some fun things to put on your desk or on a shelf. I put my Brickheadz on a shelf. And maybe you could put them in the windowsill, I don't know. Then the colors would weather, so maybe don't do that last one. But yeah, I think the interesting thing here is that for the same price as this set, you could get the Stagecoach set, the Grindelwald's Escape, 75951. And between the two, I would definitely go with the actual set over the Brickheadz set. I mean, this set's still cool, but I think it's pretty clear which is better. But this is still a nice Brickheadz set. I will say that it is my least favorite of the 4 Wizarding World sets, although that might just be in general because I have so much love and also nostalgia for Harry Potter. And for Fantastic Beasts, I just thought that the 2016 movie was okay, and then this 2018 movie was hot garbage, and that's what this is based off of. So, I mean, yeah, I got the set because I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter, and I mean, these guys are kind of Harry Potter, and I had every other Wizarding World set, so I might as well complete it. But, I mean, these guys are just alright. I mean, I don't do, like, rankings or grades, but if I had to give these guys a grade, I'd give them, like, a B-. Pretty good, I guess. Yeah, that's all I have to say here, and that's all I'm gonna say here. I don't really have anything to add. They're pretty good, but they're definitely, like, the Harry Potter guys are definitely better than these. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in my next video, whenever that is. Might be soon. Who knows? Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see all of you in my next video. I already said that. I'm gonna stop now. Good night, everyone.